As described by the Mozilla documentation, filter calls a provided callback function once for each element in an array, and then constructs a new array of all the values for which callback returns true. So one thing to keep in mind here is that whenever you call filter, it creates a new array without modifying or mutating the original array in any way. So let's actually take a quick look at a few examples here. Let's say we have an array of fruit here, and then underneath this array of fruit, we have an array of food. And this food array happens to contain some fruit, but we want to create an array of all of the items inside of food that also is inside of fruit. What we can do is we can use the filter function for that. We can use the filter to return an array of all of the food items that are also included inside of the fruit array. So let's create a variable called foundFruit. And let's set that equal to food.filter and show you guys how this works. So it iterates through every single item in the array, and when it's on a specific item, it creates a variable for that item. And in this case, we're going to call it food item. And then we pass it a function. For every single item that it iterates over, it's going to apply this function, and if it returns true, it's going to add it to the array that it returns. So we want to check if the fruit array includes the current food item we're on. And if it does, it's going to add it to that array. So let's go ahead and log this and see what we end up with here. Let's log foundFruit. As you can see here, it logs all of the items inside of this food array that's also inside of the fruit array. And that's a pretty cool example, but let's look at a little bit more of a complicated example. Let's say we have an array of numbers. And we want to create a function that whenever you pass any number into that function, it returns an array of all of the numbers inside of this numbers array that's evenly divisible by the number you pass it. Well, what we can do is we can say const numbers divisible by, set it equal to a function that takes a number, and then use numbers.filter to perform our task here. So for each number, we want to check whether or not the number is evenly divisible by the number that we passed to it. So in this case, we're using the modulus operator to check whether or not the remainder of this division is equal to 0. So let's see what happens when we log this. Let's pass it the number 11 to see all of the numbers in this array that are divisible by 11. I'm going to comment this out so we only get this specific log statement here. So you can see it creates a brand new array of all the items in this array that are evenly divisible by the number 11. This function is extremely helpful and is provided by default as of ES6. So that was the array function filter. In the next one, we're going to be talking about every. If you liked this video, if it helped you in any way, please subscribe, give me a like, and I'll see you guys next time.